Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the February 13th Beechwood Independent School District Board of Education meeting. Ms. Lori Reed, would you mind taking roll call?
Yep. Mrs. Berger? Here. Mr. Hood?
Here.
Dr. Savignano?
Here.
Ms. Slate? Here. Ms. Stricker? Here.
I'd like to welcome everybody that's joined us tonight, our staff members and our guests. We're going to go directly into our meeting here, our recognition of guests. Dr. Stacy?
Okay, it's always our pleasure to recognize guests, and tonight's no different. Tonight's guests are going to be from 5th grade and 4th grade, Miss Amanda Claire's class, as well as Ms. Gasser's class. They are the EDGE winning groups from both classrooms. And guys, I'm going to go ahead, when I call your name, you're all going to come on up. I'm going to give a little bit of an overview, but then we're going to ask you to tell the board exactly what your group did. And I think we've got some examples around the table up here of the winning shirt designs. So each of the groups and respective grade levels were given the challenge of producing a church for Cincy shirts. And they basically had to have Fort Mitchell or Beechwood somewhere in the title. And we have a couple examples up here of the winning shirts. Home is where the fort is. And we are one, we are Beechwood. So without further ado, we'd like to call Miss Ashley Cahill, Ella Mae Welker. Oh, right on time.
Good timing.
And Diana Aguilera Munoz
You can do a
up to the front.
sweatshirt. I think you can get
All right, guys, come right here, right in front. Right in front.
Love it.
All right, so 5th grade group, correct? Yes. All right. First of all, take your picture there. Miss Shovel's going to get you. Your parents going to get you.
I have met. There's medals at the back. You don't have to.
All right, ladies, turn around. Now the fun part. Back up just a little bit so everybody can see and hear you. All right, now, which shirt is yours? Home is where the fort is, this one. All right, so tell us the process you went through to go about coming up with this design. Okay. All right, so anytime you design something, what did you learn from just that process? Got to go through a lot of different drafts, right? Right, it doesn't always work out, right? But then you come up with a really good design, right? Are you proud of it? All right. Well, I think it's a great shirt. I love the way you took the Kentucky, but you added the fort, right? That's pretty awesome. All right, come over. Ms. Stricker will hand you your medals. Great job, ladies. Proud of you.
Good job.
All right, 4th grade. You got a little preview of what you might be asked. I will say I want the older kids first, just for you 4th graders. Alex Evans, Emmett Hill, Cecilia Cook, and Barrett Schultz. All right, good job, guys. Right here. Hey, come close, and then turn around and get your picture taken.
I like them on the sweatshirt.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do like them.
All right, can you all look right here?
All right, good job. All right, now back up just a little bit, turn around. You're next on the hot seat. All right, guys, first of all, good job. Yes, ma'am.
So with the jobs, it was really hard because the first I was facilitator, like telling everybody what to do, and it was way too hard for me. And he was a reporter, and I really wanted to get that job, so we kind of like sort of switched because he was way better at like, doing my job, and we got we asked him, we taught me like, I honestly didn't think we were going to finish. So
doing a great job right now, but they're thinking.
They got
They're
no
thinking.
shot.
And it was really weird with the design because we had a lot of different designs and we were just like voting on which ones we wanted to do. It was really weird when we just decided on this one.
All right,
There was so much editing in the process.
a lot of editing. All right, gentlemen.
The first draft was like nothing like it. It was like some of the words were different. It was like instead of a tiger, it had like scratch marks and it was like completely different. But we found that this design we liked it better and we added things.
All right, so you all had some of the same editing and some of the same having to trash stuff and rebuild stuff as the first group.
There was so much that we had to trash. The one design was like all black and it was like white tiger font with like tiny tiger in the middle. And it was really weird. And then we changed it to this one. And like we used to be like, oh no, it's not perfect. And we did the small little editing and we moved the text and it was like, just a tiny little text. And we were like, oh yeah, that's way better. Alex Games did this. We loved it.
All right. Well, two things that really strike me. Number one, you said that people are better at some things and not as good at others. So you switched roles. All right, that's very important. All right, because each one of you have strengths that you bring to the table. You also have weaknesses, but man, it's so much more important to really focus on those strengths and really what can be a value add. And when you do that, it's exactly what you said. Your time really sped up and you got so much done. And then you started like praising other people on what they were doing that you really liked. All right, well done, guys. That's really impressive. Love your design too. Awesome job. All right, come over here, Ms. Strick. I'll hand you your medals. Appreciate you.
Why don't we have them put their medals on and take a group picture?
All right, Ms. Strick wants a group picture. Both groups back up. Teachers, you all come as well, please.
You guys did a great job.
Are they gonna sell that shirt in the Tiger Center?
No, Cincy shirt, just Cincy shirt.
Is there something? Probably, yeah. But you said the proceeds come from it's the same difference. Huh.
So great.
All right, before you guys leave, I just want to say a couple things. Parents, thank you for bringing them in. It really does a great job for us to be able to recognize them and also for the board to see what our students are doing outside of math, science, social studies, and language arts. And those are absolutely important. And we always want to hold those as staples. All right, our academic standards in those four areas, along with writing, are always going to be top notch. But at the same time, it's really important for our students to learn, even at a very young age, some of the things that they addressed tonight, right? The problem solving, the being able to go through several edits and realize failure is only your first step towards success. Public speaking, creativity, all those other elements are important in the work life outside of just math, science, social studies, and language arts. So thank you for allowing us to have the opportunity, Ms. Gather and Ms. Claire. Thank you for coming in. Job well done. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Shirts can be bought at Cincy Shirts.
All right, Cincy shirts.
And we
Cincy
get,
shirts.
they get some money back to us.
All right, we get 20% back, I guess. So it doesn't matter either way. Awesome job. Parents, thank you so much. Have a great night.
Good to know.
That's true.
I think Celia has a problem with public speaking.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
She's cute. Cute.
They all did a great job.
Yeah.
They were.
I really like that one.
Oh, I
That'll
fell
be
in love with it.
that'll be popular.
And until she tried to talk me into putting it on a blue shirt, I was like,
No, I know, no.
Did Cincy Shirts come in and ask them to create something?
Yeah, since these shirts come in and ask them, they had to, basically, since Anchor shirts come in, ask them to help with designing a shirt that they thought Fort Mitchell residents would really like to purchase. And then they also had to come up with their pitch, their elevator speech as to why it was a popular design, and then go through everything with Darren over at Cincy Shirts, and then he picked the winners at each grade level. So a written portion as well as the shirts. So yeah, I think it was a good challenge. I mean, I think most of our seminar groups and had classes are, and like I said, it's important to stay as a high academic institution, but it's also important to teach those skills that we need in everyday life for the rest of our lives as well. So that's what we've tried to do.
They did a great job.
Yeah, I like it. All right,
Do we have anybody signed up for public comment?
we do not.
Okay, we'll go directly into discussion and action agenda. 2A, the board policy 09.12221, change in resident status is a first reading. Would you like to?
Yeah. Basically, with the draft legislation that moved into law as 563, we have to go through certain processes. I mean, since we already have a policy and administrative procedure on accepting kids from outside of the district, we didn't have a lot to create, so we just had to refine. The first board policy you're refining is basically taking out the word tests from our policy. So that is 09.12221.
And then we move on to the next one, which is board policy 09.12222, non-resident students moving into the district, also first reading.
Yes, and this one simply in the first paragraph strikes testing requirements and changes that to application process.
Okay.
There's no other changes.
On, number 5, looks like that's added. The one-time enrollment processing fee. Did they tell us what that has to be?
Where do you see?
Am I on the right one?
You
Which
know,
one are you looking at?
I think you're over on the
Second one.
next
Okay.
one.
I'll hold that thought.
All right.
I thought we moved on to the second
So
one.
in this
We're,
case,
you're
we're
looking,
You're looking at the third
striking
one.
that.
which
we're
is-
literally in 09.12222. We're only striking test requirement and replacing that with application process.
Okay.
Okay, then moving on to the next one, board policy 09.124, tuition, first reading.
Right. So this is the one that, that strikes, again, all aspects of admissions test, admissions score, and then it moves the $25 from application fee to enrollment fee. Right now, everybody pays a $25 check when they fill out an application. All right, but we don't cash them until they're accepted, and then we're left with these checks that, we're trying to return. So we're just striking that and charging a $25 application for admission, enrollment. And then the two bigger adds to the bottom.
How did we come up with the $25? That seems a little low. That's why.
That's where you've always just had a $25 application fee, and then that's rolled over.
Should we revisit that? I mean, that can't cover much.
No, it really just, is the admin, just a little bit for admin for the amount of time it takes to enroll and process all the different applications. My first couple of years, we cashed them and kept everything, but then that kind of seemed odd too, to take a, $25 and then say, thanks for applying, but,
So are you just,
Whoa.
you're just holding it until,
Yeah, we were holding it. Then we change, what we'd like to do is just change to, if you're accepted, we have a $25 enrollment fee.
Many schools at the collegiate level and beyond charge an application fee.
Absolutely. A large one.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I just think, as in my personal opinion, as you know, your all's advisor, with it being a new legislation, what we've tried to do is make as little changes as possible, other than remove the test, and let somebody else be the test case, because we know somebody's going to get tested on this. I don't want to be that person, so I don't want to make it look like we're putting in too high of a to try to deter. And now, if you want to review that after this year, I think we'll be back at this after 1 year, after we go through either a revisement in this session or a lawsuit and somewhere else. We already know that's going to happen. If I were betting tonight, it'll happen in Anchorage because they have been a little bit more defined on changing some of their status. But that's not. I don't want to be the first on that, and I don't think that's a good look
but
for
they
us.
haven't filed anything yet?
I'm sorry.
They have not filed anything yet?
Well, they haven't filed anything against them because it hadn't come up time to where they're supposed to do what the bill says.
Okay.
All right, so that is the change for, and then the statement at the bottom, in addition to the above criteria, enrollment of non-resident students may consider the course of conduct of the student and members of student family with students sending school and/or Beechwood School District Administration. Course of conduct in this section is generally refers to actions which may be reasonably deemed disruptive to school or admin, hostile or combative conduct, communications or conduct or communications which are disrespectful, false, defamatory, misleading, or threatening a course of violence, illegal or inappropriate actions towards any school personnel, students, or the board. Puts us some protections in for behavior and attendance. And I think that's that was our main goal for tuition students anyway. So overall, I'm pleased, but it's first reading. If you have any concerns or want to redo anything, please let us know.
And what does the bill say? Like, what are they requiring?
The bill says that you have to have some policy and administrative procedures on accepting students who are not in your district.
Which
And
we
it
already
can't be
have, yeah.
any way academically or in any other way discriminatory, which, the test is one of the things that could look like it is being discriminating against, kids that may not score as well. But it was just a small portion of, the academic background, the behavior, the value add that our committee, our policy has been tested in court, and we've been in good shape on that. So for us, we just needed to remove testing out and put some kind of clause in, and we used a clause that's already in another district's policy. So that really helped with Jeremy giving a thumbs up. And that's basically been our process. Remove testing and keep the same process that we've had in place ever since I've been here.
And are other districts charging tuition, or no, or are we allowed to continue?
Well, that is one of the arguments that has been proposed by KDE versus the bill never says. There is standing law that says you may charge a tuition. So this law does not contradict the law that says that you could charge tuition, so I don't see anything that prohibits that. Mr. Dieters?
A memo came out from KDE with a legal theory that tuition would now be inconsistent with this law. I haven't talked to any school lawyer who agrees with that opinion. We have a separate statute that allows tuition. And this law does not replace that law, change that law, or amend that law.
So my advice, maintain tuition, maintain your processes just the way that they are, minus the changes that we've made tonight.
So
That's on the policy.
So it's a stupid question, but they will not even take a test.
Not even, they just present their records from their previous
That's what I
school.
thought. I knew removing it from the policy.
Yes.
But I didn't know.
No tests. I think that would be an automatic, I think we're the only system that still uses a test. I think Fort Thomas has moved away from that as well. You know, with student records, being able to look at a body of work, that's really been, you know, kind of what we use anyway. So it's not really that much of a change to us. Any other questions on the policies?
All right.
All right.
Moving on to D, the Administrative Procedure 09.124, AP.2 regarding tuition student admission application process is informational only. Would you like to?
Yep,
expound on that?
strikes two things. Projected enrollment not to exceed state guidelines, that has not been, that is not part of, to have that, you would have to set minimum numbers for each grade level. I don't think that is where we start right now. So we're striking that, and then we're striking district administration admissions test. Other than that, no changes other than changing the $25 to enrollment processing as opposed to a $25 enrollment or application fee.
And then E, the Administrative Procedure 09.124, AP.21 regarding contract/conditions for non-resident tuition students. Again, informational only.
This removes the $6,000 tuition for districts that won't release ADA. And the law says that they are not prohibited, they are prohibited from restricting ADA, so that comes from every district now. So that's no longer an issue for us. For a long time, locally, Campbell was the one that would not let go of ADA. That is no longer the case, so it has been stricken.
Next is F, the Administrative Procedure 09.12, AP.22 regarding non-resident student enrollment. Again, informational only.
So real quick, back to the other one,
Yeah.
no contracts, right? No contracts with other districts because that's gone.
Yeah, I mean, our reciprocal agreements were in place, but there's no, I mean, that's not something that we have to really worry
Renew,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, and I do, because I know it may be asked, that only applies to districts in the state of Kentucky. It still maintains the increased tuition if somebody comes across the river. And so I want to clarify that. 09.1 AP.22, it takes out highly competitive admissions exam score. Again, and number one, admissions tests. A review committee are striking two. Strikes out physical examination and immunization records until they are accepted. And then finally, a 6, decision of the superintendent is not satisfactory, an appeal may be made to the board. The decision of the board may be final. So remove that as well. A couple of minor cleanups, but most everything goes back to the tests. Most of our tuition seems to be kindergarten, 6th grade, high school.
When's the
That's-
application deadline?
April 21st.
Okay. So we still have.
A lot of people want kindergarten. A lot of people want 6th grade. And I mean, we have the random in-betweens, but the big numbers are kindergarten, 6th grade, high school. Moving forward, we will have to have some discussion. I mean, elementary is really full. It's just,
What kind of discussions? Yeah,
big
it's really
class
full.
sizes. Kindergarten, we had the.
We have in district kindergarten high this year?
100
Really?
in district.
And that's now.
That's current kindergarten.
Oh, current now. Did you have registration already? Didn't you have kindergarten roundup or
We had
something?
roundup. The roundup number was higher than last year's roundup number. So if that's any indication,
Yeah.
we might have more than 100 in district.
In district?
We currently have 3 tuition students in kindergarten. And then we have a few staff kids who are tuition kids that don't pay.
Right.
I think that number's at 6.
Okay.
So it's going to be an interesting moving forward, you know, how to keep the, you know, the early, especially early elementary manageable, but, you know, still have some flexibility, you know, at the older grades. I mean, it's just always a push and pull. But I think this puts us in good shape with 563. You know, we've waited as long as we can wait.
Right.
You know, the legislators may make some, you know, edits. And if that's the case, we'll have to come back with a last minute, you know, change. But as of today, they say they're not touching it this year. They're going to let it play out for 1 year to see how it all works. So as of right now, this is our recommendations moving forward. Any other questions? All right.
Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda. I will take a motion for approval to adopt the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
A second.
We really struggle, and I'll continue to apologize. We have a lot of things that come on after. We have an overnight field trip that has already occurred. That is all state choir. We'll continue to work with them. That's going to be something every year. We're going to have somebody make all state choir every year. So we're trying to work to get them to go ahead and make that request to the board, as opposed to waiting to see how many people make all state choir. We have still one pay application for 6A. That is not the last one, so we're still working to clean up 6A. We have one change order for Delta Electric. I have approved that change order. That is not one that needs to be you know, we don't need to push back on that one. It's what it is. And other than that, it's pretty standard.
I did have one question on the joint session meeting notes.
Yes?
Did we mean, it looks like we marked some people not in attendance from the board and cabinet members, but was everybody there? Did we not do it for elementary and high school site-based council, or was everybody there?
I think everybody was there.
I think everybody was there.
So I don't remember seeing Brenna as an example.
Oh,
I don't know if anybody else wasn't there.
I don't remember. Yeah, I can change it. Make a note, I'll make a note.
All right? Make that one change.
You were marked.
Any other questions?
All right, moving on to our information section.
We
Hold
need to
on.
vote.
We
We
need
need
to
to
vote.
vote. Hold on. Mrs. Berger?
Yes.
Mr. Hood?
Yes.
Dr. Savignano?
Yes.
Mrs. Slate?
Yes.
Ms. Stricker?
Yes.
Apologies.
All right.
Now moving on to the information section. Your superintendent's report, please.
Yeah, so I'm going to pass tonight, since we're going into closed session, on my portion. Again, as far as the financial report, we have our current listed in your packet. However, we need to make sure that we're mentally preparing for the recommendations to the board for next year's budget across the board in May. So that is a conversation that we'll need to continue to have over the next couple months to kind of solidify exactly what actions you want to take moving into next year. We'll have plenty of time to discuss that, but that is something that we're working on a regular basis to be able to give you several different options over the next few weeks. Other than that, I'll pass. And I will say kudos to Coach Rash. Some things are just have to handle differently. You know, you have a gentleman who's been a coach for 22 years at one place. You know, in my time, I don't know exactly how many he has, but in my time, I've been here 8 years, and he's played in 7 state championship games and won 6 of them. So that's quite an impact in a positive way to an institution. So I would just like to commend him on running an excellent football program, and that has been a great representation of the institution. So he got a good some good press today, and I'm sure he'll get some good press over the next few weeks. But I also know it will be hard on him to look down on the field and see spring practice. So you know, it's just a change of the season. So we're pleased with what he provided to us, and I think the institution has done him well as well. It's been a great relationship. High school will work to open that up. Obviously, that'll be a really big decision for the community and the institution, so one that we'll take very seriously. Other than that, I'll hold off until closed session.
Okay, our next section is we're going to enter into closed session per KRS 61.8101C. I will take a motion to enter the closed session.
I'll make a motion to enter
I'll second.
closed session. All right, Mrs. Berger?
Yes.
Mr. Hood?
Yeah.
Dr. Savignano?
Yes?
Mrs. Slate?
Yes.
Ms. Stricker?
Yes.